Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the India InsurTech Podcast. We have with us today Yash Gupta, who's the co-founder and CTO of Nova Benefits. Yash is a graduate from IIT Delhi, an entrepreneur and the co-founder of Nova Benefits. We're going to speak with Yash today about the role of tech in the InsurTech and the employee benefits space. Welcome to the podcast, Yash. Great to have you here. We'd love to know about Nova Benefits and how you decided to do something in this market.
Hey, thanks, Prashant. Thanks for having me here, and thanks to India InsurTech Association as well for hosting these events and getting or giving us an opportunity to interact. So coming to Nova, I think that there are two things. One, I'll tell you what is Nova and what are we trying to do, and then how we even started with the idea, perhaps. So on what is Nova, we are an employee health and wellness platform which is specifically focused on health insurance. So what that means is that we want to obviously take care of health insurance for any company who wants to offer it to their employees. But then we go above and beyond and we do everything on more preventive and proactive side of healthcare, which is all the way from health checkups, doctor consultations to mental health, gym memberships, and then obviously the inpatient hospitalization side of things with insurance. And our mission is to make workplaces happier and healthier. And we think if you take care of the health part and the proactive wellness part, people automatically get happier and they perform better and they stay longer. Prashant.
Okay, all right. Okay, this is a really large market. How did you venture into this space?
So yeah, the way we got into, like, me and Saransh, my co-founder, got into the space was really interesting. Like I used to work at Samsung in South Korea before starting Nova, and I observed that there were a lot of great benefits that I was getting while I was working there. I never paid any bill or any money for any medicine or any doctor visit or anything to do with my teeth, or even there were other benefits like there was a gym. So I was really intrigued that these benefits are amazing. And then I talked to a lot of people in Samsung, and there are people who had stayed there for like 15 years, that spent their entire lives basically. It was that the benefits are just amazing, and these were just the benefits that I observed as being in my 20s. But that was super interesting, and I asked my friends in India that how are things here, and I was really surprised that when we talk about benefits, the only thing that people in India knew were health insurance. They were like, we get some health insurance, and that's about it. And people did not really care, at least people in my age group, which were in their 20s, because they don't make a claim themselves. It's mostly the parents who would make, or maybe slightly older employees who are in the 30s. So that was super interesting and super intriguing as well, that probably in some time India will get to a stage where probably more developed countries like Korea and US are, and something similar is happening in the US as well, where there are like hundreds of benefits. Even things like
That's
getting a
right.
consultation from a lawyer is often included as a benefit from an employer. So that's how we got into this. And Saransh had a similar experience. He had spent some time in the US, and he also like noticed some of these things, and that's how we got into this space. And then we realized this is a huge market. It's growing at a very high pace, and just the health insurance itself is growing very quickly because healthcare in India is getting just more and more expensive, and that's why we jumped into it.
Okay, okay. My follow-up question to this, Yash, is so it's a large market. You decided to do something. You see there's a huge difference between what you see abroad and what you see in India. How are you using technology to create this impact, and what changes are you bringing into the space?
Right. Right. So there are two key things that technology can do, or maybe three key things I can talk about. So one is the employer side of things. So as an HR, tech can save a lot of manual work that you might have to do to manage your policy today. So that is the first thing that we do. We save time on endorsements, for example, on collecting data and enrollment. That is the first thing. Second thing we do is we increase awareness. So that's more on the employee side, because if you look at a more traditional way of buying insurance, you'll buy insurance and you'll just send an email with the policy copy or the e-card, and you're kind of done. And people move on and they forget 6 months later. If you ask a 20-year-old, they probably won't know that they have insurance from the company. So to get people onto a platform, onto a mobile app, and have that ongoing engagement with different activities, different things on the wellness side, really increases the perceived value of the benefits that the company is providing. So if you as a company are putting so much money and offering these benefits, you should very well leverage that and have that value transferred to your employees. And the third thing is even when an employee makes a claim. So interesting bit is only 10% of the employee base will make a claim either for themselves or for their parents. But then even in that case, having a smooth experience is really critical. And that's one of the core pieces that we focus on, how to have a smooth claims experience where we integrate with different insurers, TPAs, make sure the claims process is kind of streamlined. Even if you as a employer change, providers each year, ensuring a
Mhm.
consistency there is something we really focus on.
Okay, so you're focusing on these three value props along with consistency. And I want to understand one piece. I think what I've seen around with even information coming out of Nova is that you're saying that employees who are happy tend to stay longer with the employer. I want to
Right.
understand what are you doing to improve the employee experience? What are those two, three things that you're doing to improve the employee experience as a whole?
But we try to get as many people onto our platform when they are enrolled or when they are onboarded for the first time. And then we keep engaging people with different kind of wellness activities. We would have some master classes or some sessions that happen every other week where we cover something important around either physical wellness, mental wellness, or even financial wellness at times. Then we have things on the health side or on things like health checkups or from a doctor to doctor. So these are all things that we do which make an employee remember not just once but multiple times that this is what my company is doing for me and my company cares about me, and that's how we like make that bond stronger. And this is something one of our advisors, who's a very senior HR professional, Satish, shared once, that all, like, if you look at the compensation that an employee gets or a team member gets, 95% of it might be monetary, but what really connects emotionally is the 5% remaining, which is given in the form of these softer benefits, how you make someone feel special or feel connected when they are vulnerable or when they're going through a claim. So that's where we really want to make a difference with a smoother experience and have these elements of delight along with wellness. So that's where we make a difference and make people happier.
Got it, got it. And how are these benefits tying up to improving, let's say, retention or a retention of an employee or, let's say the ENPS of an organization?
Right. So there, that's actually super interesting, and that's more of a the many research articles out there. If you just Google, and you'll find many people have figured out that your cash compensation is one thing, which is super important, but then the real difference is always made on the perks or the benefits side. And there is enough research and more saying that 80% of employees would choose uh, a job with better perks than a slightly better cash compensation, or many people would stick with a company for longer because they really like the perks. The real challenge comes in implementing these, a good enough perks or a benefits package so that you can actually get this value from
Mm.
benefits, and that's where we come in. So I think that's no longer the debate that do you need to do all these things for your
Hmm.
employees. Everyone wants to do, and it's more non-negotiable. The real question is how you do it and what's the most effective way of offering these benefits, and that's where we come in.
Got it, got it. Well, that was really interesting. So what I've understood is there are the three ways you're trying to structure this entire problem statement. One is ensure that you're providing optimal solutions when it comes to tech to optimize on any data of that sort. Second is by ensuring you're structuring these packages well with the right benefits for employees to use, and then you're also tracking engagement on how they're using it, which is resulting in the improvement of ENPS and for improving the retention of employees in a company. So great stuff there, Yash with Nova, and I wish you the best from our side at IIA, and hopefully we'll chat soon.
Yeah, thanks, Prashant. And we're just trying to make a difference, and I think it's a huge opportunity. And all our partners in the insurtech space are working together and trying to do something here. So thanks for that,
No,
Prashant.
of course. Thanks for your time, Yash, and uh, thanks for being a part of this edition of the India InsurTech Podcast. We wish you the best.
Thanks.